Matt Burney or Dan Illman taking a look back at this past weekend's Del Mar Debutante for 2-year-old fillies, going 7/8 of a mile down at the Del Mar Thoroughbred Club. We thought coming into it we had a lot of quality as far as this race was concerned. Maybe we'll see some of them again come Breeders' Cup time for the juvenile fillies going 2 turns. But first things first, let's break from the gate here in the Debutante. Really, it was a situation where the pace projector was spot on. Moonshine Memories looked like she could be out there on the lead, and she goes right to the top.
You're absolutely right. The Timeform US pace projector for this race not only had Moonshine Memories on the lead, but had her through a relatively moderate pace. The pace was pretty fast, 21-4, 44-4. But Moonshine Memories, once she sort of dispatches with the rail horse, the rank outsider, Gabrielle Elizabeth, she settles into a really nice beat. And this favorite, Spectator, just really isn't fire.
Yeah, this is a bit of a
Just a smidge isn't fire.
a bit of a difficult race to really decide what you think of some of these runners, because Just a Smidge, who went off as the 9-5 favorite, that little gray horse on the outside now, she's in a beautiful position, but she's not going to fire. Eventually, Spectator, who's a little bit farther back than maybe is ideal, she's going to eventually get into it, but it's almost a matter of one of the horses that seemed interesting fired, and the other ones were just a little bit flat.
This is a major tactical advantage right here from Moonshine Memories. Too clear on the far turn over this racetrack. Just a smidge, I wonder if this is a case, and I'm interested in your opinion here. She was so fast in her debut. She'd been working brilliantly leading up to this race, and it seemed that breaking from the outside post, Baffert wanted to see if she could rate off another horse, and the answer is she can't right now.
Certainly can't. Now, keep an eye on the number 2, or the horse in second right now, PD Bianchi. This horse is really going to try throughout the entire stretch run. Can't quite get to Moonshine Memory, who's out there. You're going to see coming from the back. Spectator's going to make up a little bit of ground, but Pete Bianchi really kind of puts a bit of a scare into this horse.
I like this effort from this runner. She was 18-1, and she got an education because she was down on the inside on the turn, getting some kickback right in her face. Once she got to the outside, as you saw, she was really digging hard at Moonshine Memories. She galloped out well after the fact, and I'm very interested to see her stretch out for a race like the Chandelier at Santa Anita. I thought after the race that this horse has sort of the upside projection of a Landover C for trainer Doug O'Neill, and I think Piedi Bianchi's going to do some good things. To me, Spectator ran in spots, and she was third on class alone.
Moonshine Memories pays $13.40 on the win end. Piedi Bianchi $14.20 as far as your place price is concerned. Your $1 exacta with those two, $74 for 50 cents. The trifecta, $133.85 with Spectator running in third. Moonshine Memories, this horse is 2 for 2 thus far. This was her second race in about 2 weeks. It was a quick turnaround. Simon Callahan, an unbelievable summer down at Del Mar, and it seems like it's just continue trending upward for him. Flavian Pratt with the ride. I don't know, boy, you're going to turn around and run this horse now 2 turns in a race like the Chandelier and then run her again in the Breeders' Cup. Is that not a lot in a short amount of time?
It's a lot, but you know something? Right now this filly can handle it. After her debut, 2 weeks, as you mentioned, before the Del Mar Debutante, Simon Callahan was going to do the thing that most trainers would do, and that is wait. Give this horse a lot of time, mature, grow into herself, and run her in the Chandelier. She must have been kicking down the stall, because the next thing you know, here he is in the Del Mar Debutante with Moonshine Memories. She ran well here. Listen, I trust this horse. She's hardy. She's fast. We'll see if she gets 2 turns. I'm a little bit dubious right now.
82 buyer speed figure, a 110 Timeform US rating. Piedi Bianchi, we already touched on it. We think she is an interesting one going forward. Love the try in her right there. You wonder what the ceiling is, though.
I wonder what the ceiling is, but as of right now, I think there is some potential here, and I think she's the kind of horse that's going to fall through the cracks from a wagering standpoint. You get the feeling there are going to be some sort of, high-profile, big reputation horses running in the Chandelier, and Piedi Bianchi, coming off of this running line at 18-1, figures to be lost again, but I like her. She reminds me a lot of Landover C against a hard-trying sort. Maybe not top class, but she's going to win some races.
Spectator running in spots, to you, is that a matter of her being green, or was she a little overrated going into it?
I wouldn't say overrated, because you look at the figures she's earned, the races she ran, the versatile running style she utilized in those races. They were asking a lot from Spectator. I wonder if she kind of lost her race at the start here. She was bounced around a bit, and that can be very intimidating for a very inexperienced filly. And then you saw on the turn, she dropped back a little bit, and then she rallied again a little bit late. I'm really not sure what to make of this performance. It was not promising by any stretch of the imagination, but based on the good work she did in her first 2 starts, I can certainly understand anyone that says, give her a mulligan. Let's let this very good trainer, Phil D'Amato, sort her out and stretch her out.
Dancing Bell, maybe I am still one of the few believers here.
You're supposed to be.
I understand from a speed figure standpoint she's not getting any better, but at the same time I still don't think she's doing what she wants. I think she wants 2 turns.
She's certainly bred for it, and the way she ran in her prior start, to me, indicates that she wants to stretch out. I don't think Kent DeZormo really beat up on her at the end of this race. This is a means to an end. Now, she is still a maiden, and she is giving up a lot of winning experience, obviously, to some good fillies.
We've seen Keith do the this before,
We've seen
though.
Keith do it before, and you've been on horses like that have scored. I believe Texas Red.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if Dancing Bell runs well, and I would not be surprised at all if she's in the gate for the Chandelier.
Let's call them the two disappointments in the race. You had Just a Smidge and Poetic. Let's start with Just a Smidge. You brought up that you think possibly it's the idea of this was the experiment to see if she can sit, and she failed.
I think that was what the case was. I think that they were outside the other speed. They drew it up on paper, just like the Timeform US Pace Projector, by the way. Moonshine Memories in front, Just a Smidge sitting in second. And what's wrong with prompting a horse coming back in 2 weeks rest, sitting in second? And she just didn't seem as comfortable. When you look at her, she is just a smidge, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's a very tiny horse. She's not the most daunting physical specimen you're ever going to see. She is a sprinter through and through. I think next time when we see her, she's going right to the top.
What's the story with Poetic? Because this was a horse that was coming into it. I think all of us, myself included, wanted to give her some bonus points for being able to sit and pass horses. But the elephant in the room was she didn't run all that fast in that debut. And guess what? She got buried here.
Well, I think that's what it was. I think that maybe she was exposed here against horses that are maybe more advanced sprinting at this point. Now, I'm sure the Poetic, like many folks believe, she's going to do better as she stretches out. Now she's just got to get faster, and I wonder what the next spot's going to be for Richard Mandella. Are they going to go to the Chandelier, or are they going to find an easier spot for Poetic? Because you're right, she was supposed to at least do some running late.
And you wonder, we're at that time of year where if these connections don't see fit or don't want to point toward a race like the Breeders' Cup, you always have the Starlet at Los Al back in December, and that's a grade one, and we know grade one, that can change the entire complexion, even as far as year-end championships are concerned. Moonshine Memory, she hasn't done anything wrong thus far. She's a perfect 2 for 2 for Simon Callahan. She earns an 82 buyer, winning the Del Mar Debutante.